See ya, Roz.
Yeah.
Wow.
Not
That's
bad.
really something.
By the end of it, you'll be shaking it, I
Oh,
promise. Welcome, everybody. Podcast number 23. We got a special guest today, one of our members. So pretty. My goodness.
Oh.
But before we get into that, I want to thank our sponsor, our podcast sponsor, Jan Michael Reyes. He's a mortgage specialist with RBC. 15 years experience in lending. Also an expert in all things home equity. There is no less expensive route than to utilize the equity in your home. Here's a challenge. He works around the clock, and his phone is always on.
Okay.
So, Jan, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to message you at 3 a.m.,
Yes.
and I expect a response by 3:10.
We're going to test that.
You can contact him at 204-510-5709.
Give me that number again. Wait.
204
Yeah.
510
Okay.
5709. You'll also see his banner at the bottom of the screen.
Okay.
We also want to thank all of our listeners. We really appreciate you. And just so you all know, we're now on YouTube under Fit Club Media. So if you want to go back and look at any of our podcasts, one easy place to check them out. And if you can do us a favor, like, comment, and share this video, it helps us out greatly.
916 sent a text. Let's see what kind
Okay.
of reply we get
Oh,
back.
wow.
Good.
Jan Riz, we're putting you on the
You
spot.
are literally
brother.
been called out, my friend. He better be watching this podcast right now. So before we get started, let me introduce our guest today. She grew up in North Vancouver.
Oh.
She is a real housewife of West St. Paul and has been for the last 12 years. Married with 2 kids. She's a real estate investor for the past 18 years. That's actually really interesting. I want to talk about that. Currently, she's a realtor with Remax Associates. And this is, well, like she likes to work out daily to offset her love of food, specifically pizza and cookies. She's passionate about travel and trying new things. And back in the day, where is this? She was a former Carnival Cruise Lines social host.
Yes.
Everybody, welcome Roz Matos to the podcast. Did I get that right? Matos?
Matos.
Matos.
My toast.
Roz, tell me real quick. I want you to tell everybody. I know your age. How do you look half your age? You are pretty.
Oh,
What are your
thanks.
secrets?
Hey, guys.
You're being
Hey.
awful.
What are your
Hey.
secrets? Did he get back?
He got back to me 917. Morning, RJ. How you doing, man?
Wow.
Nice.
That's impressive.
All right, called him out, and he succeeded. So
He might be my new mortgage.
Yeah.
there you go.
guy.
Tell him that we just called him out on the podcast. See if he knows that.
Yeah, I
Wow,
just said
that's
that.
good.
We were
That's
testing
impressive.
You on the podcast.
I love that.
So hit us with it. I know that you like to stay out of the sun. That's one of the things, right?
Yes, I will be 38 next month. I don't know if I
she
look
put that out
that
there.
much younger. Well, you got to own it, right? But no, I am. Somebody puts on lots of sunscreen, wears a hat. I do not get sun on my face.
Are you one of those ladies at the beach that has a hat that's like 3 feet around, like a planetary system around your head?
Well, pretty much. 50 SPF on my face. I mean, it's just, I'm getting to the point where I've got friends that it's like, wow, they still smoke cigarettes and they're in the sun all the time and you can tell.
Yeah.
So I'm trying to
So stay out of the sun. Don't smoke cigarettes. What else you got?
drink lots of water.
Mm-hmm.
How much
and
water do you drink, do you think?
Probably not enough,
Okay.
but I try like 2-3 liters a day.
And so what's your
Oh, that's
method? Do you
tons.
carry a bottle around? Like, you're probably on your feet quite a bit, so.
Yeah, no, I carry a bottle around, just like one of those shaker bottles. So I'll do like, if I'm working out, I do the pre-workout in there, and then the rest of the day I'm just filling it with water.
Which pre-workout do you take?
Oh gosh, I don't even know the name.
Which one? What does it look like? What does it taste
It's
like?
from here, right?
Yeah, it's well.
If it's
I don't
iced
know.
tea, it's Kaizen. If it's pink lemonade, it's Kaizen. If
It's not Kaizen.
If it's sour, is it sour?
It's well, the one I've got right now is a fruit punch one.
Fruit punch. What do we got for fruit punch, Jen?
But I like the Kaizen ones though too. The iced tea one's really good. That'll probably be the next one. But I only take it if I'm working out. If I'm just like having a regular day, I just find I'm too
A little too jazzed up.
Oh, yeah.
little too jazzed up for just
Hey, let's go here. Let's go
a
there.
regular day. But
So speaking of which, I know that pre-corona you were a morning and an evening worker outer, because I would always say morning Roz,
Yes.
and afternoon Roz. They look two separate,
Oh, yeah, that's
like
right.
two separate people. Yeah.
yeah, 100%.
So how are you doing it
Why
now?
do I look so different?
I don't know. I guess it's the face you don't put on in the morning. I'm not sure how that
so
works.
normally I work out with all the mamas in the morning, Neri and Reagan and all of my morning mommy friends, and I just roll out of bed and roll.
They call each other the yummy mummies.
Ooh, I like that.
Kind of reminds me of the
I never-
Justin Bieber song.
Yeah.
Never
Nary
come-
calls herself that. She was actually going to
she
get shirts
is a
made for
yummy
you guys.
mummy.
Neri, let's get shirts that say that. That's awesome.
That's what she wanted.
What would be a good logo to go like lips, or we should make it into like a like bubble gum. You know that
Yeah.
like the packaging.
Okay.
We'll put that, but we'll call it Yummy Mummies on the front.
Maybe. I don't know if I'm a yummy
Not
mummy
bad.
because
Feel
my
that.
kids are 10 and 12. But the ones with babies that have rockin' bodies like Neri and Reagan, they are definitely yummy mummies.
How old is your boy?
10.
Did his buddies ever say your mom is so pretty? Do they have little crushes on you?
No, not yet.
There's a reason I'm asking. There's a reason I'm
Fingers
asking.
crossed
It's
that
gonna
may
get to that
happen
point.
eventually.
Yeah.
No, that has not happened yet. They're not really interested in females
No?
yet.
Because I remember when I was a young lad.
Oh,
and-
Neri's on. And Leona Kerr.
Nice.
Neri
Is it-
says she misses you, Roz.
Oh, I miss her too. She's so
A fellow yummy mummy.
inspirational.
Hey, guys, in a couple minutes, we're going to do a game, and we want some crowd engagement. So, for all you out there, we're going to get you involved here, okay? So,
Yeah.
whenever you're ready.
The Yummy Mummies.
The Yummy
Mummies.
Anyway, so the reason I'm asking is because when I was younger, I can't remember exactly what age, but I grew up with a single mom. And she was a rock star mom, and all her friends were just smoking pretty, right? And I remember just always being kind of infatuated with all these older ladies. I always had crushes on them, and that extended well into my probably early 20s. You know what I mean? So, anyways, if one of them is ever busting your son's balls and saying, "Oh, your mom's so cute," then you're a yummy mummy. That's all I'm trying to say right there. So
I think there's another name for it too, isn't there?
there is. But that graduates after about 19 or 20
Yes.
years old.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. So,
Yeah.
anyways, let's get into this game.
Kathy Bodie says hello.
Hi.
Kathy Bodie says
What's up,
hello.
Bodie?
So much.
All right, so the game is Guess This Song, okay? So we have very similar tastes in music. We're going to bring it back to the good old times in the 90s. And
Like
we're
some
going to see
Jodeci?
who can guess. Oh, I didn't know you know Jodeci. Well, I should have went a little deeper. Okay, so this is the thing. We're going to see who guesses it first, okay? And you got to be a fast typer, okay? We're going to see if Roz guesses the song first or the audience guesses the song first.
Awesome.
So is this a beat Roz to the punch?
Jerome, how can I get this from my laptop? Do I put the mic to the phone? Yeah. Okay, here we go.
We're doing a call-in show.
You ready? Where's my speaker?
Oh, I see what we're doing here.
It's all like 90s jams.
All 90s jams.
We're
All
playing
right,
Spin
so
the Bottle. It's
audience
14-year-olds.
has to guess first. What's this? Spin the bottle?
Yeah, it's just the songs that we listened to as we were playing Spin the Bottle when we were 14.
And
Not RJ and I, but we're the
making
same age.
mixtapes.
So
Yeah.
All right, you ready?
Yeah.
All right, first song.
Mariah Carey.
Song.
Um,
Come on, who's guessing?
oh, okay.
We're all gonna bop to it.
We're gonna pop to it.
Oh, I can't.
Oh my God.
Name that song. Let's go, audience.
Yeah. Walk by every night, talking sweet and looking fine. I don't know. I can't remember. Looking fine.
Who's got it?
Oh, okay. It's gonna come out in the chorus, but you knew it, Rick.
I do. I know the words. Hectic inside. Can you?
All
Can
right,
you
we're
sing
gonna
it?
we're gonna get black soon, RJ. We're gonna get black.
We have no
soon.
guess.
It was on the tip of my tongue.
Do you know what it is, Matcher?
Fantasy. Jen Mancher. Hey, one for the audience. Okay, here we go. Next song.
All
Okay.
right. I'll keep track here.
Next song. All right. Okay, you guys ready?
Mm-hmm.
Here we go. Of course, there's a slow entrance. Hold on. It's a video.
I saw the sign.
Name who?
I saw the sign. Well, you were asking for titles of the.
I know. He's making it harder every
Yeah,
time
he's
for you.
making it harder.
When was this song? Who produced it? And what is the video called?
Hey, what was the lead singer's name? All right, we'll give that to you, Roz. Ace of Base, the
Ace of
sign.
Base.
Ace of Base.
All right, this one's a little tougher.
Tied one.
And I
up,
know you
1-0.
like rap music because it was part of your requests for your 1,000 workouts.
Yes.
Can you just get some gangster rap in
Here
here?
we go. Okay, let's see who can get it. You might be able to get this too. Ashley Van Dam guessed
Was
Ace,
that an old
Ace
joke?
of Base. B-A-S-E, Ashley, not B-A-S-S, not a bass. Okay, guys, ready?
Notorious B.I.G.
Yeah.
Is it Hypnotize?
Boom, Roz is on.
Well
it.
done.
Great
Yes.
work, Roz.
Well
There's
done.
nothing
I think that
better
was
than the
pa-
90s rappers.
I think that was actually part of your 1,000 workout request, was it not?
Juicy.
Juicy. That's the one. Okay. All right, Rick. On with the show.
Who do you think liked gangster rap music more, white suburban kids or urban kids? I feel like
Ask her.
I feel like it's part of I listen to it. I feel like it's part of the way we grew up.
Yeah, it is.
You know, we
It's
all
a
know
cultural
that.
thing.
Yeah, for sure.
Did you wear baggy jeans
I
back
did.
then? Yes,
I did. Awful.
Did you wear like the exhaust? Did you?
I
you
wore
into
the No Fear T-shirts. Do you remember those oversized T-shirts or Stussy T-shirts? Those actually might be back now.
Those are okay.
Yeah, I saw
They
that.
were never
Yeah.
weird looking. You know, they were pretty
Just
generic.
oversized.
Yeah.
Did you ever shop at Stitches?
No, Below the Belt.
Below
but
the
I grew up
belt,
in
okay.
Vancouver, so I don't. You guys have Below
You guys
the Belt
were way
here?
trendier than us. That's why.
We had below the belt. We've always had that.
Yeah,
Just
yeah.
wide,
We never could.
like
we never
really
shopped
wide.
there though.
Yeah.
No.
I'm trying to. I
Did
don't
you go
even-
to? Did you ever go there? Stitches.
Of course.
Okay.
Oh, yeah,
How
Stitches
about
was good.
Ardene's? Remember
Ardene's is way more popular now than it was back then.
Really?
Yeah.
Isn't Ardene's more of like an accessories type
Accessory,
store?
Yeah,
I used
for
to wear
accessories,
big
but now it's
hoops.
clothing.
I used to wear huge
it?
hoops.
You used to wear
I
big
had a
hoops?
big hoop. Yeah, like
Oh,
Jordan.
wow.
Remember he had the big hoop.
You had both your ears pierced?
just the one.
Yeah, I had both mine pierced, believe
Did
it or
you?
not. I did. I was actually
And your
think-
nipples, right?
No, not the nipples. I didn't want to deal with that pain. I just thought
I
that was
thought
going to be
you totally
incredible
strike me
pain.
as somebody who would have had their nipples pierced.
Everybody says that, and I
Yes.
would never want that. No, nor
100%.
He's got a hidden piercing. And
Oh,
it's below
okay.
the belt.
I have no other hidden piercings
None?
either. And you know what? To be perfectly honest, I don't even consider myself a tattoo guy, which is so crazy
Okay.
considering
Oh,
that I
come
have.
on.
I really don't like.
So
I
what's
don't,
a tattoo guy?
I don't. You know, like you just your stereotypical. You know. I don't want to say degenerate, but you know, somebody who's not trying to do great things in life, somebody
Okay.
who accepts mediocrity, somebody who's
Yeah.
probably doing criminal activity. Like, I don't know. I guess that's just sort of a stereotypical thing. Clearly, that's not the case anymore.
Not anymore.
But I
no.
feel like it's just a stereotype that, and that's in my own head. And I have tattoos, so you know, I'm talking about myself as well. But when I got my tattoos, I was in a completely different mind space than I am now.
Yeah.
If I were to go back, would I get the tattoos that I have? No, I wouldn't.
But you've gotten some recently in the last
No
couple
regrets.
Years, right?
No regrets, and-
RAGRETS.
Yeah, but you know what? But every once in a while, you have to, you know, embrace your mistakes and educate those behind you, and just say, hey, you know what? If you're doing it with tattoos, if you're doing it because you're trying to be rebellious or a gangster,
Yeah.
or if you're trying to be a tough guy, just think ahead. Are you going to be this person in 5-10 years? And yes, you should own it. And it is. If you look at my tattoos, it does represent my
Evolution.
life, my
Yeah.
Life at the
evolution.
time, yeah.
Yeah. So
I've got one tattoo, and it's terrible.
Yeah, I wouldn't
Where
even
is it?
Call
on
it
my
a tattoo.
thigh.
Let me show you what it looks like. Okay, I'll show you. 1, 2, 3 dots. That's it.
Like 3 moles?
3 dots. I don't know what it
Oh,
represents.
wow.
Some North End gangster thing that
Oh, wow.
him and his
You nailed
crew.
it.
Him
Oh,
and his
wow.
crew decided they were. Like, at least put that on your face. You know what
Hey,
I mean?
there was at least 100 of us, so that's got to count
Oh,
for
my
something.
gosh.
See
And
that?
I was top of the org chart, so I take pride in that.
Oh, my goodness.
Oh man,
Sorry for all you white suburban kids that we picked on. Okay, how's that sound? Just kidding.
we pick on everybody here. We pick on absolutely everybody. Let's talk. You know what? I want to get into the fun part of it. Did we finish the?
That's the game.
That's
That
how we
was
only,
it?
we only had 2
Roz-
songs or 3 songs.
Roz is 2-1. She beat the audience.
2 to
Great
1.
work.
Good.
Yeah.
I think we should throw another one in there. Maybe change it up. Throw some
For
country
later?
music. Do you like country
I
music?
love
Okay.
country.
Me
Come-
too.
Coming
Love
up in
it.
a bit.
All right.
I got a perfect song.
Let's talk about
If you don't know
pizza.
this song, you don't know music.
One of the things that you said, and you were very specific in your intro, was that you're almost a professional when it comes down to the pizza. Tell us your perfect pizza. Where's it from?
Red Amber
Ooh.
at the Forks.
Red
Oh.
Amber, I've never even.
I've never
What is
even
that?
heard
I've
that,
never
but
been there.
I'm
You've
intrigued.
never been there?
No.
Oh, it's like the
Jerome, can you pull that up in the
It's the
prompter?
Can you Google that, Jerome?
Can you Google that, Jerome?
brick fire pizza. It is like an artisan style. So they put it right on the stone and cook it that way. It's so good. It's so authentic, and all their ingredients they use are from Manitoba. So Manitoba cheese, sauce, meat,
I'm hungry.
everything is Manitoban.
Okay, so what goes on your perfect pizza?
Well, they often have a specialty pizza, which has a lot of different stuff on it, and I always get that one, and I always love it. And it can be really. They do a poutine pizza sometimes. They do just all sorts of stuff.
So
Use
what do they
Bothwell
put potatoes
cheese.
on there?
Yeah, like soup. No, yeah, super thin, and then the Bothwell cheese curds. I don't know. I love all pizza. I really do.
Have you had a za? Like, do you ever go there?
Yeah, I've gone to Za.
Yeah.
Za's pretty good.
Have you been to what's the other one?
I don't-
Pronto? Pronto Pizza?
Yes. Yes.
They're amazing.
And
I
I,
love their
also
crust.
love that one on Main Street, Pizza Land. Pizza Land.
oh,
is
yeah.
That used to be my favorite.
Yeah, they used to be members here.
Yep.
Yeah, I think they were members here before.
Love Pizza Land. Thin
Pizza
crust.
Land gives me zits.
Yeah.
It's
Well, you know,
so greasy.
it is
But it's
greasy,
amazing.
but I feel like that's what's good about it. And I
Yeah.
remember doing work back in the day for somebody, and they paid me in Pizza Land gift certificates. I ate 1,000 of those pizzas,
Oh, their pizza's so good.
and to this day, I could eat 1,000 more. You know what I
Good.
mean?
Thin crust,
But-
though. I don't like a greasy crust
No.
or a thick crust.
Mhm.
Thin
Yeah.
is good.
And
Not
really crispy.
Yeah.
No?
Yeah, well, you can have a bit of chew, just not. You don't want too much dough. You want more.
No. We
toppings, but-
so when we get our pizzas, we're like, okay, just leave it in there as long as you can before the toppings burn.
so like
and
a
then-
cracker.
Yeah, well,
crust?
yeah.
Yeah, for za, that's good. But yeah, no, I love pizza. If I could have one food for the rest of my life,
Every day.
Mhm.
it would be pizza.
Yeah. So I mentioned that you're a housewife of West St. Paul. How are all your episodes going there?
Well, my husband used to make fun of me and call me a real housewife of West St. Paul because I was a stay-at-home mom for 8 years, which was a lovely time in my life. But now
I'll tell you this,
I
Roz.
work hard.
Before you, so I've always loved you. I loved our relationships. We have a good banter going, and I remember before you started working. Okay, before you started working, there was at least once or twice a week I would get Roz's opinion on something.
Still get my opinion.
Not as often though. Then you got busy. So, what was the connection there, right? Now
No.
Roz just comes, shows up, works out, leaves, right?
You know
Before
what
it
I
was
always
Roz
took
would
to
work
heart,
out and then tell me
RJ,
something after.
is I always took to heart that you would say, if you won't leave me a 5-star review, please send me a message directly. So I took that to
yeah.
heart. So
There you go. You asked for it. You
Yeah.
got
that's
it.
where- and I love
Yeah.
that, I come to the gym 6 days a week. So
Yeah.
those of us hardcores
Yeah.
that, I'll be at 3 years this June that I've
Yeah.
been here. So consistently 5-6 days a week. So,
When you
there's room
started
for
3 years
tweaking
ago,
always,
was that wasn't in the basement? That was here, right?
that was here.
What was
Yeah.
your start here? What was your first program or 6 week, 21 day, 14
Yeah,
day?
I did I think it was like your first, 1 month.
Okay.
But I knew I was going to stay anyways from the second.
Well,
I've always been a gym person.
Yeah.
I didn't really realize how much I'd love working out in a group setting until I started here. But I knew pretty quickly that I was going to be staying. Commitment to exercise has never been my issue. It's
Yeah.
always been food.
Yeah.
It's always been the diet. So I've always stayed committed to exercise. I would be a far larger person
Yeah.
if I didn't work out. But when I walked in here, I remember Jen was the first face I saw. And I said, I have never been bigger than I am right now, except for when I was 9 months pregnant.
Yeah.
I'm like, I just need.
You just said that to her?
No, I said that to her the first day I walked in here.
Okay,
I'm
yeah.
like, I need to turn this around.
Yeah.
And, it took me time, but I lost 50 pounds coming here. So
50. Wow.
I mean,
And it was an evolution of 50. It wasn't like 50 off the first 50 days.
No,
Like
no,
you're talking
no.
over the past 3 years.
Yeah. I would say it took me probably a year and a half to lose that.
So how
Lose
long did
40.
it take you to get that 50 that you wanted to lose?
No
Or was that
time.
just
I could put it on in quarantine right now, no problem. My body loves to hold on to weight. So,
Yeah.
no, I say I've turned things around as of yesterday because the first month of staying at home was just kind of like, well, this is it.
This is it.
And not really eating a lot of garbage, but just kind of cooking, having seconds, just eating too much. And then I'm used to working out, doing 2-3 classes a day. So I've put on probably a solid 6-7 pounds in the last.
Since March. Because were you here on the very last day?
I was in your
yeah,
last class.
that's right. In that photo. Yeah, that was a great
I was
photo.
in your last class. Yeah, that was a Sunday.
That's when we were all kind of like not really knowing what was going on.
Yeah,
We're
you're like, oh, it's going to be a week.
I know.
It's gonna be awesome.
Well, we're all sweating all over each other.
Yeah.
Yes.
And then
Yeah. Yeah. So now, as of yesterday, I'm like, okay, it's time to turn this around. I've been consistent with the exercise the whole time I've been home, but it's the eating. So now it's.
So you've adopted the online training.
Yeah, I have. I've, to be honest, I've done your classes, I've done other people's classes, and before I joined here, I had just bought a brand new elliptical. So
Okay.
it's basically collected dust for 3 years that
Yeah.
I've been here. So it's in great condition. I've been doing an hour on there every day. So half an hour in the morning, half an hour in the afternoon, and then I go to my gym. I'm lucky I've got a full gym at home, so
Okay.
I just need to use it.
Anita says hi.
Hi.
She's tuning in, and Jane also
Good.
tuning in. Thanks
Good.
again, everybody. We appreciate you
guys.
tuning in.
Don't forget, remind those guys that we are on YouTube now.
That's right.
Fit Club Media. Go ahead in there and subscribe. I think I'm the only subscriber up till this point.
I was number 2.
Let's go for number 3 here today, guys. Let's talk about your work. We talk about your fitness. Let's talk about your work. Everybody, including myself, has been affected by the corona. It's not going to last forever, but it has affected us somewhat. What have you noticed with respect to the industry itself?
Well, as a real estate agent going into spring, it was busy. Like parade of homes, we had tons of people coming in. And so it definitely changed. As soon as this, virus arrived, whatever you want to call it, there was definitely a shift. Now, I still have clients that have to buy a house and have to sell right now. For the first-time home buyers, they want to take advantage of the low interest rates. And I had one family a family of 5 living in a tiny apartment, had been saving up for 10 years. And they're like, this was the time we're buying. We're determined to buy. So, there's a lot of protocols in place right now. We really have to be careful. We're wearing gloves, hand sanitizer, just being very respectful going into people's homes. But we did end up buying them a home. They got a very good deal on a beautiful home. So that was a process with them. And it was kind of the first few weeks of this. So we didn't really kind of understand quite what was going on, but we were very, very cautious. And we've got, I've got a couple families now that are wanting to build with ADR. So we're still going through the process with them, and they're still forging ahead. So that's good. I would say I had a few dozen buyers going into sort of springtime, and now I would say I'm down probably 75%. A lot of them are saying, Roz, I'm just really nervous. I don't know if I'm going to have my job in a couple of months. I don't know if I'm going to get laid off. And I said, well, you know what? When you're ready, I'm here to help you. Yeah. Don't feel pressured in any sort of way. I think especially when you're buying your first home, you want to be confident that it's the right time for you.
You bet.
So it just really depends on your outlook. I give people my opinion, but at the end of the day, I want my people that I work with to be comfortable with their purchase. So
a month ago, it all started, and then it dove completely down. Everybody was terrified. Are you finding a little bit of an uptick? People are getting back out there again. They're feeling a little bit like, hey, I want to try and look for a house, or is it still?
Not quite yet.
Not yet?
No,
Okay.
I'm staying in constant contact with everybody that I've been working with. I would say not quite yet, but I'm optimistic that, in the next month or two, it will. Yeah. And I think when this is all over, we'll probably be very, very busy.
Yeah,
I mean, there's a lot of...
We have backlog to deal with now.
We will have a backlog to deal with. That's how I feel, but I'm ready for it.
And I would say that your industry probably is affected by the summer. You're more busy in the summer. People want to get out there in the summer. So if you're losing 2 months of warm weather, you got to gain that up double time, yeah?
Well, and if things get a little bit more back to normal, people still probably won't be traveling. So I think that in the summer, people go to cottages and camping and go on trips. I think people are going to be a little more homebound this summer, but still maybe be looking for homes. I guess time will tell, but we'll be ready to be here to help them.
So let me ask you this. You're dealing with a tough situation. What are 5 tips, or what are a handful of tips, people who are selling their homes, what's a great way to have your home ready for sale? What should we be doing?
Well, I'm going through this with a friend of mine / client right now. They're busy because his wife's a nurse and she's working tons and he's working tons, and they got 2 grown teenagers and a younger child, and their house is a bit of a disaster. So I said, the number one thing is declutter. Get as much stuff out of your house as possible. Okay. Also, painting goes a really long way. You look at before and afters just of people painting. If you have the time and a little bit of money to paint, that goes a long way. Clean up your yard as much as you can. This time of year, everything looks a little mucky and not great.
Dog poop?
Yes.
Mud.
Another client of mine last week, I was like, you know what? I know you've got 2 dogs, but you really got to clean that up.
Yeah.
I would say those are kind of the main things. Just making your place look as tidy, nice as possible without having to throw a lot of money into it and do renovations.
Do personal pictures matter? Pictures of me and my wife or my dog, should we get rid of that? Should everything just be generic? Is that actually a factor?
I think that it's good to depersonalize a home as much as possible. We had another client where their walls were plastered in huge wedding photos. They must have had 6 or 7. Anita knows who I'm talking about.
Yeah.
And huge wedding photos. And I'm like, you walk in and that's what you see.
Yeah.
It's like the play-by-play of their wedding day. And
Yeah.
I found it to be a lot. So I probably would have taken those down. They didn't.
Yeah.
Their house ended up selling. It was okay. But yeah, I would say depersonalize. You know, and Winnipeg's kind of a small place, so you don't want to be like, oh,
Yeah.
this is Fred's house, you know, like
Yeah.
when
Yeah,
people come in.
One of the things that I look for with respect to depersonalizing is if I see somebody who has so much attachment to that house displayed, I think to myself, they're going to be impossible to negotiate with. They're going to try and sell their house on sentiment as opposed to actual market value. So just for me, as somebody who's buying a house, if I walk into your home and it is plastered with your kids from 0 to 30 and all of your life is displayed, I really feel like I'm going to have to battle this person so hard to get the price down. You know what I mean? So just from that standpoint, that would be the advice that I would give to somebody like myself, because I know that's what I'm looking for. So to cut that tie and to make it more of a generic, I'm just buying a house, I'm not buying your memories. That's why I would always take down all my personal stuff, because I wouldn't want somebody thinking they're buying my life. You know
For
what I mean?
sure. And you
Yeah.
want people to visualize living in
Correct,
this
yeah.
space, like
Yeah.
making it their own, right?
Is a
So-
staged home more effective than an open, clean home? Like no furniture?
I would say so in a lot of ways. We've got a townhome project. The ones that are staged are always the ones that I find people are most interested in, because they can say, oh, this is the size of table I would have. This is the size of couch. So I think having furniture that's the right scale for rooms is really good. Having an empty space, it's hard to make it, like visualize it as a home.
Right.
So, yeah, I think having the right furniture, the right size. You don't want furniture that's too big in a small space. That's never good. But
Gotcha.
Can we shift gears here a little bit?
Sure.
So you have your son is how old again?
10.
10. What's his name again?
Noah.
Noah. I haven't
Yeah.
seen that dude in a long time. He just stopped
Oh,
coming, right?
Just my light of my life. Yeah, he stopped coming because his sister got old enough to babysit.
Oh, really?
They could
And
stay
just
home
want to
alone.
Stay home?
Yeah.
Okay, and then how old's your daughter and what's her name again?
She's 12, Ava.
Ava. Okay, so Noah and Ava. First of all, what's the meaning behind the names?
They were the two names that Rui and I, my husband, could agree on.
Okay.
Yeah, I wanted Noah or Jack.
Okay.
He didn't want the name Jack, so it was Noah. But actually, it really suits him. He's a
Okay.
very peaceful child.
Yeah.
You know, it's a biblical
So is it
name.
biblical? Okay, it's biblical for you. Okay.
It wasn't really biblical for me, but I just like he loves animals and he's just a really kind guy. So I just think it ties in nicely. But
Okay.
it's just a name I always
And you knew
liked.
all that right when he popped out. You're like, Noah, he loves animals.
I love animals.
Okay.
No, it's a name that I think really suits him.
Okay, yeah.
So and
No, it's a
then
good name.
for Ava, I don't know. It's just we had other names that we both liked, but that was the one name that we could agree on.
Okay.
And all 4 of us have very short names: Rui, Roz, Noah, Ava. So.
Yeah. So
I like
you're
that.
you're very interactive with your kids. What are some stuff that people that are at home and have kids the same age? What are some of the things that you're doing with your kids right now?
One thing that we do see, my daughter's at an age where she really doesn't want family time.
Okay.
She really thinks I'm uncool, not that great to be around.
But Roz, you are cool.
That's what I keep telling
Yeah,
her.
I
I
know.
said I am actually.
My friends think I'm cool. Look, I'm
I'm
on a
s-
podcast.
I'm super fun.
Yeah.
People want to talk to me.
Sorry,
No,
Rod, how old is she again?
She's 12 going on 20.
Noah's 10.
Noah's 10. Yeah.
Okay, so
sweetheart.
let's start with Ava then, because these seem like two different things.
Well, they are two very different
Mm-hmm.
kids. But one thing that we've committed to is doing something as a family every day. So when the weather's nice enough, we go for a bike ride every day. One
Okay.
thing I want to do this summer is actually like pack up our bikes and
Mm-hmm.
go somewhere, like go on trails. Like they're at an age now where they can really
Yeah.
do stuff.
Definitely.
That's music to my
So what are
ears.
you
That's
doing
I
right
live
now?
for.
It's cold out, right? Like we're all trapped
Are
inside.
you
Like,
homeschooling? Like,
the
are you
easy
pulling out
answer,
textbooks?
Yeah, the easy
Yeah.
answer right now is like,
Yes.
let's just go outside. But like, I wanted to go outside yesterday. I opened
Yeah.
up my front door. I'm like, I'm not putting the kids through this.
Mm-hmm.
The day before, same thing. I want to go outside. Like we could spend 2-3 hours outside.
Yeah. Tomorrow.
But what are we doing
tomorrow's
right
gonna be
now
nice.
since
Like-
Winnipeggers have to be inside?
Like, can I further ask to your point here? Like, you're supposed to be homeschooling children. Are you pulling out textbooks? Are you putting them in in an environment
Right.
where
Goes
they're,
down.
where they're listening and writing? Like, how do you homeschool this?
It is,
and I feel like you just got thrown this at you.
Yeah, we
Everybody has
did,
to become
and I'm
teachers
not
now.
doing great at it, if I'm honest about it. But their teachers are super involved. So
Okay.
my son receives a series of videos. He's got a really young teacher. It's really cute. His videos are kind of like Mr. Rogers-esque. He's like, "Good morning, children. Today we're gonna like."
Good morning. Good morning, children.
And I always say, "So what does Clinton have to say today?" I call him by his first name. It drives my daughter crazy. His name's not Clinton. Anyways, so
Shout out to Clinton.
Clinton,
Clinton?
you're doing awesome. You're a great teacher. So he sends videos for each lesson where Ava's teacher, her teacher, he sends like Google Classroom assignments. And he phoned her the other day to follow up with her. And one thing I noticed that I'm going to work on is kids don't know how to talk on the phone. She had
Oh,
like an
absolutely
anxiety attack that he was live on the phone to talk to her.
Yeah.
She just wanted to text with him.
Oh, yeah.
I love her teacher. She's had him for 2 years. He's awesome. And I said, no, you need to talk to him. So she just went red in the face.
Yeah.
and-
Really?
Yeah,
That's going to
she-
be a skill that they're going to have to teach.
Wow, that's very interesting.
That would be an amazing skill, actually, in school is communication. Like, how do you host a podcast? Like, this is the evolution of it all, right? How do you get in front of a camera? How do you do an interview, right? How do you write a speech?
Sure.
Like, I remember that was when I was in school in English, right? It was just everything was just generalized,
Yeah.
right? English, giving a speech, I'm like, let's go. You know, I loved it.
All right, just asking engaging questions. Trying
Yeah.
to kind of think on your feet and keep
How do you keep a conversation going?
Exactly.
Yeah.
You know, how
So
do
I
you do it?
noticed that about her, and I was like, that is something we're going to work on. Because being able to talk to people, I feel like for me has been my number one skill in life. It's I just don't know where I'd be if I couldn't
Yeah.
talk
Yeah.
to people. And so I noticed that with her in that moment that I'm like, she needs to know how to speak to
Communicate.
I'm intrigued by that. Can you give us some more details? So the phone is ringing and it's the teacher and she's about to answer and you see her face go red?
No,
Oh.
he calls my cell phone.
Oh, your
I'm
cell
like,
phone,
"Oh,
okay.
Brian, how are you? Have
Okay.
a chat with him. I think he's just a really cool guy. I really like him.
Yeah.
He goes, "Can I talk to Ava?" I thought he was phoning to talk to me about because she's putting in her assignments on Google Classroom without me reviewing them.
Okay.
I want to review them. She's like, "You don't need to review them." You know, this is kind of the battle that her and I have. So I always email him just saying, if Ava's schoolwork isn't up to snuff, please let me know. So I thought he was calling to discuss that with me. And he's like, "No, I want to talk to her." So I go in her room. She goes, I said, "Mr. Robertson's on the phone for you." She goes, "What?" I don't want to talk to him. I said, "Yeah, you're talking to him." So
So it could have just been off guard then. It's not so much that
off
she
guard, and I just don't think kids talk on the phone.
They don't.
They all
When?
message each
Yeah.
other.
Who talks on the phone outside of me and you? Like, this guy doesn't ever call me, Jerome.
I know. I don't even know your phone number.
Yeah.
I think I just learned
Yeah.
it the other
See,
day.
I
Jen
love-
doesn't call me, but I talk to her every day.
I love
Yeah.
talking on the phone,
Yeah.
but a lot of my friends,
Yeah.
don't.
I think you're right.
Yeah.
I think moving forward, well, it's like anything, right? If there's a skill or if there's something that a lot of people are not doing, then
Yeah.
the person who's doing it is going to be
So
successful. at
let's
something.
issue a 24-hour challenge right now to our audience.
Ooh.
Call somebody.
Call somebody.
Call me,
Totally.
actually. If
got
you
a
have my
challenge?
number, yeah. If you
Put
have
it
my
out
number,
there.
then call me.
Put your number out there. Do it. Do it.
Put my number out
Yeah.
there.
What is it? Everybody, let's get it.
Especially if you're really discussing something, because tone is lost
Oh, yeah,
in
big
text
time.
messages. So I phone clients a lot because I don't ever want anything I'm communicating to come across as too harsh,
I hear you.
or like
Yes.
yes, you would know.
I have
this.
a
I
hard
hear you.
time with
Yeah.
Zoom, though. Like, when I get on a Zoom call, I have a very hard time talking to somebody because I'm super distracted. Like, you put my computer, this is my, like, what do they call it? Trigger, right? You give this to me and I just work, right? So it's like when I'm on my laptop and we're talking, if I'm disengaged, I'm like right away doing something else, and you don't know, but my eyes are going like this, right?
Oh, see,
Oh,
that's not
we
good.
know.
You need to give people 100% of your
Well, I know
attention.
exactly, but that's what
Yeah.
I'm saying. You put this trigger in front of me, and my initial trigger is to
So
is
it's
to
something
start
you need to
working.
work on.
But what I do with my phone is I have it in my pocket, I have my headphones in, and I'll be walking or driving, and I'm like, man, we could talk all day. Like, in fact, when I drive, I will find somebody to call because I don't like driving.
Yeah.
You know,
I think-
I thought if I got a nicer car, I'd probably like it, but no, I'd rather be driven. And I'd rather. I'm a great. I always say I'm
a
a great.
chauffeur?
I'm a great passenger. You want to kill time? I'll keep the conversation going.
Yeah.
But don't make me drive
I
because I'll
love-
fall asleep.
I love talking on the phone while driving.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that's a good challenge from Roz to you. Is
With wireless, hands-free.
Oh, absolutely.
Absolutely,
Yeah,
guys. We're
for
following
sure.
the rules.
Of
here.
course. Way to be an upstanding citizen.
I don't like that we can't eat and drive anymore. Is that a thing?
Oh
Like,
gosh,
Can you get a ticket for that?
I don't know.
You can,
Yeah?
yeah, but
Did I tell you I got a speeding ticket the other day?
Yeah.
you did. They're still giving out speeding tickets.
Yes.
Yeah.
I got a perfect driving record for the last, I don't know, however many
Oh,
years.
no. And you got
this-
caught by a cop, too.
by an
right?
actual cop.
That's
Yeah,
so
so I got
was
2
it-
demerits coming
Yeah.
out of this.
Actually, I know a guy. After this, we'll talk. I know a guy. Rod, speeding ticket. Rod, former cop.
I already paid for it. I admitted my
dude,
guilt.
I could have got you off.
I moved on from it. Who cares? At
Yes.
this point.
Live and learn, right?
And you know what? And I don't even know why. Like, I drive a monster truck. This thing doesn't go very fast.
Yeah, what are you
Unless-
going fast for? Because gas is cheap.
I don't know why I was going
That's
fast.
why this
I
guy-
was,
Burn through.
you know what? I was actually
Half
thinking,
price.
I
how
got to
did,
equal out my money here.
Yeah.
That's what you're saying.
how did how did I let this happen to myself? And it was coming down Main Street going north, and I was just turning onto Chief Peguis. And I know where he sits. I've seen the guy a
I was
million
gonna say,
times.
they're always there.
I know exactly where to slow down, and for whatever reason, I was having a brain fart, or I was
Zone-
actually had another thought in my
zoned out.
head that day. And all of a
Yeah,
sudden,
you had 2 thoughts
yeah,
that day.
2 thoughts. And I was down Chief Peguis, and all of a sudden I look in my rearview mirror, and that cop, all I can see is his lights, right? Because my truck
yeah.
is really high, so I just see the top of his the lights.
How did
on
you
his
feel?
car.
What was it going through? Like,
I just like,
did you get? Oh yeah, you're just like,
I wasn't angry, and the guy came up and he was all like kind of crusty.
Yeah.
Comes to my passenger side, I roll the window down. He's like, "You're doing 73 and a 60." I'm like,
Oh, it wasn't even that bad.
Sorry. And then he, rattled off the whatever, like when they give you a ticket that
Yeah.
if you want to fight this, whatever they say. I was like, sounds good. So I literally said 5 words to the guy.
Yeah.
I was annoyed, but what are you going to do?
Yeah.
Or start an argument? You know what I
The
mean?
straightaway there, though, it's easy.
It
In
is.
those straightaways
Oh,
where there's
that's-
no one coming
That's
in.
like
there's
the
no
longest
lights.
straightaway in Winnipeg.
Yeah.
It kind of is, right?
And then you're used to, so if you're used to driving on Chief, you can go 80.
Yeah.
So you're already getting excited once you get past Kildonan Park. You're like, oh, I'm going to go fast soon.
Yeah.
That's where he
I
sits. 'cause
actually
you know
had
you're
my
getting a
one
little left
moment
foot.
on that bridge, a moment of death. You
What
ever
does that
get
mean?
one of those?
On your moped?
I was like,
no, I'm
which
on my
moment?
I'm on my crotch rocket.
Oh, okay.
And I usually I rip it on that. Like that's the only time I open up the throttles, just on that mid stretch. Okay, I don't have my bike anymore, so any cops that are listening to me, you're not gonna get me. I don't drive that. So anyways,
But we will give you his phone number so
yeah,
you can call
exactly.
him.
No, you know why? You know I don't get my phone number because when we were NLT, everything had my phone number. I still have people calling me from NLT.
Oh, wow.
For that, and I'm like, how do you get this number when they're calling for working out, right? Anyways, so I go and I turning left from Henderson, right? Because remember we used to be in the basement. So Henderson onto the bridge, and I just punch it, brrrr, right?
Yeah.
And then I'm like, and then I get behind a car, and I'm like, I kind of idle there, and I'm like, oh, this sucks, right? But I was behind the car, and I was like, maybe I'll just switch lanes and gun it again. I literally went. So the way that a bike works is there's 4 lanes. So if there's 2 lanes for a car, there's 4 lanes for a bike. So 1, 2, 3, 4, right? I went from 2 to 3. Thank God. Because if I would have went over to 4, I go like this. This car was trying to race me from behind. I didn't know that.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, wow.
And he goes, whoa. And it was like this, like literally from me to the mic. Whoa. And I'm like, all right, I'm done with that.
Yeah.
And ever since then, I've never done it. But that was like that one moment. It's
Yeah.
like if you ever get on a bike, everybody has that moment. You either, one, you'll dump your bike, right?
Yeah.
Everybody's almost dumped their bike or dumped their bike, meaning they dropped it at a stop sign or something like that, or they're getting out of their car or whatever. And then there's that one moment where you almost, and you get those on bikes, and that was it, man.
Yeah, if you drive a motorcycle, you just have to assume that everybody's going to hit you.
Yes.
You have to be the most
Yes.
defensive
You
driver
do.
in the world
You
and
do.
just assume that nobody ever sees you, you
For
know.
sure.
Yeah.
When I first started dating Rui, he had a crotch rocket.
Oh,
And-
yeah.
Did he?
Yes,
There
and
we go.
I just thought it was so great, and then as soon as we got into a committed, serious relationship, I'm like, I think you need to get rid of the motorcycle.
So why? Why does that happen? Why is there a switch? You love this man. He's sexy. He's a biker.
And we got to talk about the 30 and the 20-year-old. We still got to get to that.
The age difference?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
But tell me
Sure.
why. What is this? What is the switch in your head because you're in a committed relationship? That
'Cause
bad boy
at-
has to go away.
Yeah, at first it was like, oh, this is so exciting and so great, and then I started loving him and worrying about him. And in Vancouver too, there's crazy drivers in Vancouver.
Oh, yeah.
And a lot more volume on the roads there, and it worried me. He'd go from North Vancouver to Whistler. I mean, going up to Whistler is like windy highways, and it just worried me. Then he sold his bike and bought my engagement ring.
There it is, right there.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's it. You gotta
and
get rid
I've
of the bike 'cause
never
I need a
heard
rack.
the end of it since then. But
So Cynthia and Mimi both say hello.
Hello
Hi,
and hello.
ladies.
Mimi's our number one fan.
She is our number one fan.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We should
Hi,
get her on the
Mimi.
podcast. We'll just dance for 30 minutes.
Yeah, exactly.
Yes,
That's
I
it.
love Mimi's dancing. I never really worked out with her before, and then right before you guys had to close down, was in a class with her. I said to somebody, "Does she always dance?" They're like,
Always.
"Oh yeah, she always dances, but
Always.
she's got the moves."
Yeah.
If she's not dancing, you got the wrong music
Yeah, I
on.
know.
Let's just put it that way. Okay, coaches? So
Yeah.
if you have Mimi in your class and she is standing there not dancing, time to change it up.
Oh,
Yeah.
the great debate of music.
Oh, it's always
That's
a
the
debate.
hot
always
topic
a
at the
debate.
gym, eh?
I want to, since we have a female on our podcast, I want to talk relationships. Since we kind of segued into it with you forcing your man to get rid of his bike.
Yes.
You've been-
Now she wears it on her finger.
yeah, exactly. That's what I tell
said-
Jill. Anytime that she has to do something for me, I'm like, you see that diamond on your finger? That's the gift that just keeps on paying forever and ever and ever.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
All right, so let's just ask some straight questions. Do you have any questions?
I don't,
Okay.
but I think you got a good one.
So, what kind of advice? How long? Let's just get a little context in here. How long have you guys been married?
We've been together for 20 years, and this year will be 16 years married.
So you
in
were
July.
17.
Well, you were
18.
young when
18.
you guys hooked up.
Fresh
right?
18.
Fresh 18.
Okay.
I just turned 18.
Fresh
Yeah.
18.
Yeah, well, yeah. I
What
was
a term.
definitely
Is
not
that
an
a zinger, Rick?
I was definitely
Yeah.
not an innocent 18-year-old, but yes.
Oh no, you want to elaborate on that a little bit?
No. Let's just
And this is your realtor.
Yeah.
push that aside. Hey, RJ, we all have past, don't we?
Hey,
It's,
and we still have presents.
We sure
Yes,
do.
yeah.
Oh, there's your singer right there. We got past and we got presents.
Yeah, that's right.
So how do you stay married for 16 years? What's the
I always say
success?
it's him. It's
Yeah,
always
okay.
him. My husband is a very centered, down to earth, relaxed, laid back,
Mhm.
happy guy.
Mm-hmm.
So I was saying, like, before we went on air, I believe that husbands always need to love their wives just a little bit more.
Mhm.
Like, he really just thinks a lot of me, and I don't know, we just really get along. He really lets me be me. I think that's really important in a marriage too.
Oh, big time.
Like, Neri lets you be you, even though it's
You know
cringeworthy.
what, I was
sometimes.
just thinking of that yesterday.
She lets you be
It's
you.
cringe.
She does. Yes.
She's not embarrassed of you. She just
Oh, you
Yeah.
can't be embarrassed. I will embarrass the heck out of you.
Yeah, she just loves you the way you are. Yeah, it's, like, and I was also saying to Rick, like, in a lot of couples, there's one that's kind of the peaks and valleys. Like, we're that in our marriages. Like, I'm exciting, I'm fun, but I can also have, big moods and big feelings on certain topics. And
Really?
he's always the calm, cool, collected.
Okay, so you're the yin to his yang. He's foundational. You're a little wild.
Yeah,
So that's-
absolutely.
that's
But he
how-
lets
so
me
the
be
good
me.
balance.
He lets me be me.
Yeah.
If I push things a little too far, he'll be like, he just
Does he rein it in a little bit?
he
once
reins
in
it
a while?
in once in a while.
Yeah.
But in a nice way. He's like, you know what,
Yeah.
Buzz, like, that's
What
a
about
little too
what about
much."
communication? That's a big thing in my relationship. We like to have good conversation, not that forced. Hey, how was your day? Mine was great.
No,
the
deep-
obligatory we should talk because we're married conversation. You guys have good conversation.
deep, good conversation. Rory's the kind of guy that a lot of people come to for advice. Our friends, people that he works with, he's always been a confidant to many people. And he is to me too. Like, we have really deep, good conversations, and he's not judgmental. Sometimes my opinions on things, he's like, where are you coming from with this? Our friends can vouch for that. They've been in the room when I've had an opinion on something, and I'd be like, explain that to me.
Yeah.
But no, I think communication is definitely number one.
Communication is always number one, but it's the quality of communication that to dig a little bit further into this. I find that too many couples, or the ones that in my opinion, seem like they're not that happy, only discuss obligatory stuff, the kids, the finances, the mortgage, but they forget to discuss their hopes and dreams, and if you have a strong opinion on something, well, like, why? You know what I mean? As opposed to just disagreeing, why do you have that opinion? And then almost like storytelling is kind of like what I'm trying to suggest as well. I feel that very engaging storytelling conversation is great, and then you can kind of like create little fantasies with each other and stuff like that too, right? Which I've never been like that before, but I'm kind of like that now. Like I like to say to her, "Let me sell it to you." So if I have something to tell her, and I'll be, "Let me sell you this," and then I'll like try and be dramatic about it. So
here's a little fun thing. So yin So you said yin to your yang, okay? So yin can represent the female, darkness, cold, moon, internal, 0 in the binary system, soft, negative, etc. Whereas yang represents the male, brightness, warm, sun, external, like external 1, so number 1 in the system, hard, positive, and so on.
There you go.
That's literally
There you
from
go.
Google. And if it's on Google number 1, it's right.
Yeah.
I love Googling
Okay.
stuff. I would also.
Did you know that Google is like I Googled it? That's a new thing. It's like Kleenex. It's like tissue. It's like those are brands.
yes,
Like
they're brands,
I Google
right?
it.
Yep.
Can you Google that? Like that's the name. Like that. That's amazing. I want to
That's,
become that.
I was going to say, going back to what we're talking about too, is also doing things for each other, maybe not because you want to do it, but because you know it's important to your partner.
Give me an example.
Well, like my husband's very, very tidy, very organized. His closet looks like a department store. Like all of his shoes are in shoe boxes with photos on the ends of
No
the
way.
boxes. Yes.
Oh boy.
So you
I'd love
wouldn't
to bring
you
him over to
wouldn't-
my house.
You wouldn't be able to tell by looking at him, right?
Yeah.
He kind of is a sweatpants, sweatshirt kind of guy. He doesn't look like he'd be that kind of guy. So I always try and be tidy. Like our kitchen's the center of our house, and so I always try and keep that clean. Because when he comes home and the kitchen's super clean, like he instantly has a smile on his face. So things like that,
Yep.
he gives me a massage before bed every night because he knows that that's really nice for me. Just things like that. I think it's nice to do just even small things for your partner.
Yep.
I think it kind of keeps the love alive,
What about working out? I know you guys work out together. Rui's here. Have you found that to be beneficial in the relationship? Does that benefit in one way or another?
For sure. Rui's always kind of been in shape, and he's always been the same size. For me, he was always really, just always made me feel desired, even though I gained weight and was overweight. I always said, "You're a chubby chaser," because I didn't really realize how chunky I was until I was here. And he's like, I love you no matter, and I 100% believe him.
Yeah.
I love you no matter what. He's not just saying that. But yeah, it was nice to he's made some friends here. He really likes the people that I've connected with here, and he's I noticed he toned up a lot coming here. He has not been working out at home as much as I have been.
Rui?
Yeah, he needs
on it, Rui.
to step it up a bit. Mind you, I've put him to work in a lot of other ways. Just painted our daughter's room the other day, and yeah, so
Well, I find that working out with my wife is extremely beneficial. And, we have, when you're confident in your body, obviously it shows in life, right? If you're confident in your body, it certainly shows behind closed doors with your partner. And it's just fun. It's fun. We have like naked Sundays.
Nice.
No clothes allowed. Unless you're cooking, then you can wear something. But otherwise, that's it. But yeah, no, I always encourage couples to work out because as you start to get a little more confident with yourself, and I'm the biggest believer in that because when I was big, there was a time where her and I weren't intimate for over a year. A year. That's crazy. Like for me, no chance that would ever happen. But I hated myself. I did not want her to see it, and it was the worst thing ever. And that was one of the big motivators to get back into shape. So when people, use the term like I want to look better, but then somebody say, well, that's vanity. Well, that's okay. I feel like that should be your number one motivator is to look great. Because looking good is feeling good.
It
right?
ties into everything. For me, I know I changed. When I lost weight, I just felt so much better about myself. And even changing my career, like I don't think I would have changed careers if I wasn't feeling the way that I feel now.
Really?
Yeah, 100%.
So guys, we got the audience here. DeLorean first says hi.
Hi.
DeLorean.
D-balls?
Your brother, DeLorean?
D-Los. D-balls.
D-balls.
Hey, Dilo.
So he wants to know, Rick, how did that spatula work out for you? Tell us about the spatula. What's this about?
Can't tell you.
Okay.
But it did work.
Okay.
It worked out perfectly.
Okay.
Oh, boy.
Yeah.
Number one, Carla J. Not sure who that is. Maybe you know? No?
Hey, Carla.
You know who she is?
No.
Okay. So she's saying understanding your partner's love languages. Have we all read that book?
Yes.
So the 5 love languages we were talking about the other day, acts of services, quality time, gifts, a couple other ones. I forgot what they are. So I have a question for you guys, both you guys. Okay, so sex. Okay?
Yeah, let's talk about it.
Oh, here we go.
Here we go.
Getting
All
into
right.
it.
So
Finally.
you were talking about having quality conversations
Yep.
where it's got to be a deep, intimate conversation is it every single time,
No,
Rick?
no.
Okay. So deep quality conversation, okay?
Yeah.
What about sex? Does sex always have to be this 10-minute, 20-minute thing, or is it just sometimes for guys, we
20 minutes.
yeah, like
Maybe
this-
if I went 3 times.
yeah. But I'm saying, you got to marinate the whole sauce, and it's just like cooking. Does the meal always have to be marinated for 20 minutes? Does it? You know what I mean? Like, what about sex?
No.
Do you always have to have the intimacy, the foreplay, and this thing, and then the pillow talk? Like, there's a whole layer to the onion.
Not when you've been with your partners as long as we've been with ours. No, I know. There's all sorts.
Okay.
There's all sorts.
You bet.
Yeah.
Sometimes.
So sometimes it's good just to you get one done, and then there's another times where you marinate it.
Sometimes you take one for the team just immediately because it's just like eating. You got to do it.
Yeah. Okay.
And then other times, it's an all-day affair. It starts with some
Yeah.
morning messages and
Yeah.
He doesn't have
See,
kids, so
that's
we
what I'm
don't get
talking
the
about.
all-day affairs.
Yeah.
Is that a kid no kid thing?
That's probably a no kid thing.
Is it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know if everybody's texting. You can have all your little rugrats running around, puking on the floor. You can still send your wifey a text. Say, can't wait to make another one of these with you.
Yeah, no. Oh gosh. Yeah, no. I think it can be like all parts of the spectrum.
I personally feel like sex is the number one thing that every couple should focus on, because if you don't, that's what makes your relationship special, right? Otherwise, you just have a really good friend.
Well,
or a roommate.
without sex, your relationship dies
does.
essentially.
Well,
Yeah.
we were given parts for a reason. Do you know what I mean? Like the screw fits the hole.
Oh my goodness, it's a little too early in the morning for this, isn't it? But yes, no, I think it's a part of a healthy relationship. There's so many things, but without that, it's just like a roommate friendship scenario, right?
Yeah.
You got to
Yeah.
have that intimacy, that attraction. You got to do things to keep it alive, right?
Yeah, when I hear about marriages and somebody hasn't been intimate for years or 5 or 10 years, it's like that's so crazy to me. I mean,
Yeah.
at what point? How long do you think you should go in a relationship without having sex before you're like? What do you think that
I
is?
think
A month?
I don't
6
think
months?
you should go probably 14 days
I was
without
gonna
it. I
say.
mean, 7 days,
I was gonna
because
say
it depends
a
on
week
to 2 weeks.
women's. If you got the time of the month, whatever, that could last 7 days. I don't know.
Yeah.
How long does that take?
I mean, intimacy can be many things, though, right?
Yeah.
I feel like it's important that you're always okay. I had enough. I don't want to get more into this. 'Cause I'm gonna get into
we
too
could
many
talk about
details.
this all
He's
day.
getting a chubby.
But, yeah.
These pants are tight as it is. Jeez, my corona weight. I can't even do this up right now.
But
Why aren't you wearing a suit, by the way? Why are the
You
only
said
ones
dress up. We
sausagey
said
here?
polo tops yesterday.
I
we-
said so
what
I don't.
the heck?
He
Dress
said
up.
that
This is
to
what
me,
you
and
wear
I
every
said so I
day.
don't come in
Just-
pajamas.
This is my dress up. I'm a gym owner.
Dress
look.
up, casual.
No, that's the
workout
rig-
wear.
no,
Those are
I'm
the
not
3
getting
things that we wear.
Maybe business
Every
casual.
day.
Our line of communication is off.
Yeah, I
right
was
now.
gonna say
I
you
have
guys.
one
should
We're
just-
not
suit.
connected
I
right
have
now.
one suit. What do you want me to
You
do?
need
We're
to
a
work on
different
your
shirt.
communication.
Aldo, I need another suit. Let's go.
Okay, I think we got a good
Yeah.
a good handle on.
We got
on
3
Roz here.
minutes.
That's it.
Any bangers?
Carnival. Hold on. I want some stories from you.
Oh my gosh.
You were a Carnival Cruise Line host. I don't even know what that means, but you must have some good stories.
I do a lot of them. It's like you go to Vegas, what stays in Vegas, sort of thing. A lot of the stories I've left behind, but
Give us something.
I was 19 when I worked for Carnival. They thought I was 21. They didn't even ask me my age, and I got there and they were like, "So you're 21?" I said, "No, I'm 19." The legal age in BC at the time was 19. Anyways, they got thousands of applicants a week, and they just randomly picked them out. So they picked my application out, called me on a Friday, and I went to Miami on a Monday.
Wow.
And yeah, it was a really fun, interesting time.
What was the job? What was the job?
I hosted events. And
So you're on a cruise ship in the middle of the ocean.
yes.
There, and you're hosting what kind of an event?
So there'd be like corporate events. People would come for work trips, and I would host cocktail parties, and then I do pool games up on the deck. And then if we went to like our private island, I would host beach activities, and I loved it. It
Sounds
was
like
really
a great
neat.
job for a 20-year-old, hey?
It was something else, and you live in really small quarters. So
Yeah.
you live in like the bowels of the ship,
Yeah.
and you're in a tiny room, like smaller than this space, and you have a roommate, and your roommate can be from anywhere in the world. So I had an Australian roommate, and she was wild. I mean, I was wild then too, but she was.
Don't release too much. Remember, you met Rue and you're 18.
Yes,
So you're
yeah,
going
yeah.
into the
I did.
19s here.
Yeah, so we were still together when I went there, but. Yes, we kept it together while I was away, but it was an interesting time.
So tell us not
It was
about
fun.
you, then tell us about something that happened with one of the guests, or what's
Just
a
just
memorable
one,
moment?
One banger.
Give us something here.
Well, I remember the trumpet player one night got really hammered and he climbed the flagpole butt naked.
Okay.
And then he fell and
Oh,
split
no.
his head open.
Oh, really?
At least he didn't split his.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. And so he had to get stitches, and then they kicked him off the ship. But
Oh, yeah,
then
of course.
they couldn't get another trumpet player, so he was back within 2 weeks.
Oh, really?
Yeah, no, it was you know what, in those days too, like every drink was only $1.
Oh, boy.
So
Well, now they're free on these cruise lines.
yeah, but like as a staff member,
Okay.
it only cost you $1 a drink, and
Yeah.
for me they were free because I was hosting events. So you know, but
So
it
you're
was-
allowed to drink when you worked on the cruise line?
Yeah, even though I was underage,
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah.
like
I
I
feel like
guess
you-
it was international water, so maybe it was fine. But
Yeah.
yeah, no, I drank so much, and I barely ate either. It was I came back really
So the
anyways, rough shape, but it was fun.
Trump player got lit, climbed a pole, fell down, split his head. That's pretty
Perfect.
good.
All right, got one more song. Then we'll wrap it up there.
You
unless
got it.
got some big.
Just like
What
that,
do you
eh?
got, Rick?
That was fast.
Yeah.
Rick can talk all day. Trust
I know.
me.
I feel
All right,
like
I
it's
gotta
been
bring
like
him back,
15
Rick.
minutes.
Let's get back and stay in a show here, brother. All right, so here's the last song. All right, we're gonna
Okay.
see who can guess it first. Okay, this is a classic. Ready?
This is Garth Brooks. Friends in Low
For
Places.
friends in those places.
One for Rick.
Yes.
There we go.
My
That's a
country
good one.
roots. All right, Roz. Hey, thanks for coming in today.
Hey, thanks
Appreciate
for
it.
having me. It was fun.
And remember, guys, we're also on YouTube. Do us a favor, like, comment, and share this video. We'd really appreciate Roz. Get ready to dance it out. You're almost done. All you got to do is finish it up. Yeah.
Yeah.
Dress
Thanks for
up next
having
time,
me,
RJ.
guys. It was fun.
That was great.